Project Batman. Fuck yeah.
Hey guys, Project Batman, Vincent here. We've got a huge storyboarding thing to get.
Say your name.
Logan Sweet. Sean.
Paul.
And I'm Ken. I'm still here, but I'm holding the camera right now.
It'll get passed around like a drunk chick at a party in a minute. Alright, so what we're doing today is we're going to actually sit down and do some storyboarding. I'm going to talk a little bit about how our storyboarding process is going to work, and then we will move from there so that Sean will explain what exactly it is that we're storyboarding. Storyboard for a little bit, show you guys what we came up with. So, if you guys are ready to begin, I'd like to start the whole process. Okay. So, can you see everything? Is everything lit up?
Yep.
Alright, cool. So, storyboarding. Here's an example of a storyboard. That's a storyboard. There are some other storyboards here, which a lot of you people have seen. Here's one, here's one, here's one. They're all storyboards. Here's some good examples of what we can look at. Okay, so the important things about storyboarding. A storyboard can be very elaborate or very simple, and anywhere in between. It all depends on what you're doing in each scene, you know, what's going on, how much detail you need. The minimum that each storyboard is going to need is going to be 1. The framing of the shot.
Woo, framing! Framing! Woo! Woo!
Basically, what we're going to be, what we have to tell by framing of the shot is, where is the camera? Where is the camera in relation to the people? So we got 4 storyboards here. This one, let's look at this stick figure here. It's a little lopsided, that's okay. Now, if we put the horizon line here, well, he's kind of drowning now, but you can tell that camera position would be somewhere up here in relation to this guy. Same concept down here, the camera is lower to him. If you don't see the ground at all, the camera might actually be on the ground, looking up. This guy is close, these guys are further away, yada yada yada, etc. That's framing. We'll need to know where the camera is, hypothetical camera, this being animation, in each shot, what's in each shot, and the basic idea of just how everything is put together, just like it would be a physical thing you can see. The second thing is what characters are present? Question mark. Now, what we have for that in this scene, we only have a few characters. We have Batman, Talia, Raish, a couple of shadow guards, and a couple of anti-aircraft gunners. Pretty simple. Now, for some characters, what you'll want to do is you'll want to put some detail in. For example,
That's the turret gunner, right?
yeah. we can do that.
Woo, Batman!
Now,
It's
of
a
course,
dandy doodle.
something like this and something like this work equally as well to convey a scene. With this, we want more detail because we are showing a facial expression. With this, we don't need that so much, and if we're not conveying a facial expression, we can move on to the third thing, which is what are people looking at? Now, there's an easy way to do this and a hard way to do this, and depending on what the certain storyboards call for, we may need to go one way or the other. For example, I gotta find it, give me a second. In this shot, where the characters are looking is important because they're busy kissing. But that is not always required. As a matter of fact, it's very rarely required. That's a very specific thing. What we can usually get away with in a storyboard involves this. It's an X-face, which might be the technical term for it, I have no idea. It's something Paul just said. But say you're looking at this head. You want to pass the camera off to Paul so he can get a little review. Okay, now say the person is looking directly at the camera. What you're going to see is basically just a complete straight up and down cross. Now, say they're looking up this way. You'll notice now there's a curve, and the curves indicate direction. So, drawing examples. Looking dead at the camera. Looking up in that way. Looking down in that way. Looking straight up. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In a lot of shots, that's all that's going to be necessary. Now I'm going to do a quick example storyboard. And we'll talk about backgrounds when we come to them. There's going to be different backgrounds for each shot. These are not always important in the storyboard. As a matter of fact, unless it is a specific action sequence, they very rarely are. Now this is an action sequence, but fortunately we're blessed with pretty much the entire thing taking place in the sky. So this is a pretty easy scene to work on in terms of backgrounds. Basically, no backgrounds. So, Paul, pick a movie. Any movie.
Godzilla. I like that movie.
Alright. Godzilla screenshot. We're going to look at a screenshot of a film.
Oh gosh, I should probably get in closer.
Ah, perfect. Here is a screenshot from the new movie Godzilla. Let's do a storyboard. And this is actually a great one because it covers everything. So, first, let's draw the foreground. We got the two guys. They're both standing off to either side. It's not particularly important how they're standing because it's not important for the scene. Anything that really isn't important to the scene isn't important to the storyboard. And so then they've got the water. You can see the water coming up slightly. Spikes. Now, that may not be clear to some people. There is nothing wrong at all in storyboarding about labeling. Now, in this particular shot of the movie, it looks like he's coming up. So, if you want to convey that, draw an up arrow. Simple enough. So there's one. What's another movie?
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World. Good one.
Wayne's World.
Okay, Sean's turn.
Okay. There you go.
Okay. We'll do this one. Here we have Wayne, Garth, and
The suck cut.
the suck cut guy. So,
It certainly does suck.
alright. So we can see that they are sitting. So pretty much you can convey that pretty simply. Boxes, lines. You can see his arms sort of folded in his lap. And then, of course, Wayne. You can tell it's Wayne because of the hat and the hair. And you've got Garth. And this guy. You can see they're all sitting down in chairs. Garth is holding a drumstick. Now you can see him. He is holding the suck cut. And it's just sort of this weird thing, and there's this tube going off behind him. Now with a pencil, this is going to look a little better than a thick marker. It does not have to look very much better than this at all. You can see that he's holding it. He's also sitting. Nothing in this background of the scene is important.
You don't do anything?
Huh?
So you don't do anything with the background?
You can if you feel that it is important to the scene.
So nothing there.
Right.
Okay.
Now, if it's, say, for example, you want to get the lamp is casting light. Let's say the lamp is casting light, and for some reason or another, that's important to the scene. Draw the lamp. Really bad lamp, but that's where the labeling comes in. Now, the last thing we need is where are they looking? Wayne, Garth, and the suck cut guy are all looking off somewhere and very slightly to the left. So you want to do a slight curve, and then they're actually looking about eye level. So a straight across line and slightly to the left will do for each character. And that's a storyboard. You can tell what's going on in the scene, and I have the feeling that if that wasn't there, you could still get the general idea of what's going on in this scene. 3 people sitting, looking at something off camera. Now, on our storyboards, this is not a general thing, but on ours, at the bottom of every shot is going to be this line. This is not a horizon line, this is actually a line. There is space for notes down here. The reason we put this here is, one, so we can get some notes on the front of the page if we need to describe something specific. Wayne, Garth, and Suck Cut are looking off screen. And it's not a bad idea to get into the habit of just jotting down a few words about the storyboards for our purposes. Not everyone does that. Some people draw their storyboards like a comic book, where everything is just drawn. You don't have to add any words. We are but 5 today. Hopefully we will be more at some point. But for the moment, this is what we got. We want to get this animatic that we're working on with this scene up pretty quickly. And with that, that's pretty much all I have to say about storyboarding. I'm going to turn it over to Sean, who is going to explain to you through pictures and explaining what we're doing today. So, Sean, what is it?
We're gonna complete the airplane scene, and I've got tiny drawings already done up as references for our storyboards. Some of them I've already kind of finished up. So we're going to be working on these tiny squares.
All right, Logan.
So, what you got going on over there?
I'm just practicing.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
All right. Now, Logman, you don't want to jump behind Sean here and check this out, what we're doing now.
Okay, so I've done up these tiny squares as sort of like a rough draft of what I wanted the storyboards to kind of look like. Pretty much these are all things that Kenn, Otto, and I have agreed on to finish up this scene. And I've got plenty of them.
How many are there?
I've done 35, I think, so we still have about 70 to do. Maybe a little more.
All right. So, what's the gist of this scene?
Just the scene is Batman making... Well, he's kind of making a distraction for Talia to get into the fortress, but he's attacking one of the planes that left that's got Abaddon, carrying Abaddon on it. And Ray is ordering an attack on the plane from his own guys, the AA gunners, and pretty much Batman surviving the attack and getting to the fortress himself.
Right.
Yeah, that's about the gist.
All right. Any particular panels you want to explain? Want something that looks like it might be tricky.
Oh, okay. These down here I'm definitely going to want to explain. Pretty much the idea is he's being shot at, so he uses his claws there on the bottom to attach himself to the plane, to which he swings underneath, climbs underneath the plane, and he will punch the guy, and that's how he gets on top.
Right.
That's the big one I wanted to explain. There's some, I think, another one back here when it comes to actually being on the plane and steering, but I think we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Now, do you have a particular order do you think we should do these in? Do you think there's some that we should, that you'll want to take the reins on?
Yeah, there's some I'm going to want to do, and I think there's probably some you guys may want to do too, that you feel like you could do
Well, do we want to split it into?
Comfortably.
Do we want to split it into 5? I don't know, segments of the scene. Just like break it up and like by how much time would be passing or how many drawings would be necessary.
I think we should.
Okay. So basically, it starts out with Batman and Talia looking at the fortress,
Yeah.
talking. He kisses her. He leaves. Bam.
Yep.
Segment. He gets up to the plane, starts fighting before cutting to Raish.
Yeah.
That's a segment. All the Raish stuff. Segment. What
Well,
else?
I have an idea that's even easier than that.
Okay.
Why don't, just for today, we have the first 35 of them done, and they're all done in order.
Oh, okay.
So,
So we're not redoing those.
right, we don't have to redo them.
Okay.
No reason to.
Okay.
What we're going to do is, well, what I think we should do is, since there's 5 of us, we should just find out what the next 5 boards in the scene are from where we are. We each pick one, draw it, and then we got 5 boards.
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
that
sure.
makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, we could do the boards could take anywhere from, a minute or 2 down up to, a half hour for the really complicated ones. So, if some of us move on,
Take another bolt.
take another board. And try and keep it reasonably in order, but not everything's going to happen at the same time. The same reason that we're starting in the middle of the movie as opposed to, at the beginning or whatever.
So what you're saying is make sure you put the numbers on the back.
Put the numbers on the back.
Okay.
On the back of each of these little cards is a number that just displays what order in the scene it is. So that's like 7, and then 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, yada yada. Alright.
So should we break down the next 5 ones we need, figure out who's going to draw what, then we stop this, work until we're done, and then we'll come back and look at it?
Yep.
Okay. So
All right.
what needs to be drawn next?
What is the last one, Sean?
Okay, looks like the last one is him actually about ready to stab the.
Let's see it.
Let's see, it looks like. Oh no, okay. I'm pretty sure it's this one. Shadowguard shooting at Batman. Or getting ready to start shooting at Batman.
Okay.
Which is 10 on this page, so we'll start here.
No, I can see you have that one. Find the biggest number.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Now, are they numbered like 235? Or do you have them numbered just by like, here's a couple of them?
Yeah, they should be numbered up to.
Oh, okay, you've got them numbered by page.
I want to make sure 35 is the highest. Okay. So yeah. Then it's this one here, so it'll be 13 and then 14. I think 15 is on the back here. Yeah, 15, 16, 17.
Alrighty. So, go through those. There's 17 is where we're going to end up at the end of this?
Yeah.
Okay. So we got to get to this point in the scene. Alright, well. You guys ready to get to work? What do you say, Paul?
Go team.
Helen do.
Here we go. Man.
So, 90 minutes and a tornado warning later. Here we are. Seriously, we got a tornado warning. We didn't even know it was raining until my phone started beeping. It was like, oh shit, tornado, we're all gonna die.
We lived.
Alright, so we got some stuff done. All sorts of neat stuff. Our measly stack of 35 cards has now become this big stack. We powered the fuck through that in 90 minutes.
So, let's look at them. These are mostly, I mean, this is the work of all of us, but mostly that guy.
Mr. I
Yeah.
can draw really well.
Yeah. Sean,
Really good.
Yeah, there you go.
Sean's like in charge of this, and it's different and cool, and I like it. I like just being able to relinquish all responsibility. Go, Sean, what do I do? Okay. So do I just flip through, or do you want to narrate what we're seeing, or?
Wait, is that the first one?
See, they're not in order at the beginning. Put them in the right order. At the beginning, they're wrong.
What have you done?
Tag it, Sean.
Wait, you ordered the cards.
It's all.
No, I put them in the right numbered order. I didn't incorrectly number them at the beginning because I didn't draw those
Say
cards.
it. That was pretty nasty.
Do what?
That was a pretty nasty
Okay, I
brand.
think they're in order now.
Okay.
Sick burn.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
So
Here, Sean. You helped.
Okay, I helped.
Help talk
I did
about
things.
things.
Okay, opening shot is a point of view shot through Batman's binoculars of the hangar at Rachel's fortress. Close up on the plane that's getting ready to take off.
Batman says, "Oh no." Talia's like, "What is it?"
He pauses. A beat.
Looks at her. There it is, leaving the fortress. He says, "I found our distraction. Wait for me to move. That's your signal." Bruce. He starts to rip off his mask. There's Bruce. Boom! I'm a man.
I'm a man!
And then there's that epic shot of that. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Cue the theme to Orgasmo by DVDA.
Okay.
Now you're a man!
And then
you were referencing Kara.
they hug, and then they both are sad about it. And that plane's taking off, so he's like, "Here I go." Puts the mask back on. Here go the wings, taking off. Blammo! He's flying through the air, fucking towards that plane. Jet boots.
The jet boots are going out.
Oh right, okay.
That's why he had to grapple onto the plane.
Okay, so there's the grappling hook that he shoots into the plane. And there he is, getting closer to it. Climbs on, getting up on it, which makes the plane shift. And these guys are like, "What the fuck?" And then he starts pointing his gun. "Hey, there's Batman, I'm gonna shoot at him." Batman's like, "Fuck this." He puts his fucking, what are they called? Just claws? Spikes?
Mhm.
Arm spikes into the plane. And he goes under it. You can start to see the different artists have taken over at this point. Batman cuts into plane with his second arm. He's dipping under the plane so they can't shoot at him. Swinging under there. Latches on. There he is, crawling along the plane. I don't know what's happening here.
I think he's starting to shimmy.
Okay, he's starting to shimmy. Shadowguard comes to the... and he looks over the edge of the plane out the window. This is from his POV. He doesn't see anything looking down. It's just the plane. And then out of nowhere, Batman's like, "Fuck you!" He says that in this movie. It's crazy. And then he punches the dude, knocks him out, grabs him, tosses him out of the plane, and activates his parachute. The guy's parachute's deploying while Batman's climbing up the plane. Watches the guy safely drift down. The guy's approaching the fortress. He's getting closer to the fortress. There's the outpost on the fortress. From binoculars, he sees a guy approaching with the plane flying away. He's like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna radio boss. Hey, boss." And then Raish is all like stoked that Batman's still there. And that's how far we got today. Smug smirk. So there.
Oh, okay.
That's
That wasn't bad.
No.
no, especially not for an hour and a half worth of doing stuff. So here we are having storyboarded some stuff thanks to Paul and Logan, who are the only people to show up.
Yeah, so I hope you guys were able to actually follow what was happening in the actions, even though I was describing it. Let us know what you think of any of it in the comments down below. And I said this off camera when we weren't recording, but I just want to give props to Otto for his wonderful teaching segment at the beginning of this. It was so informative and great. Applause.
Yay! I didn't practice that at all. I just sort of did it all off the top of my head, so I'm glad
Okay, now
it
you're
worked.
lying.
You stayed up all night practicing for it.
I practiced the hat thing.
Nice.
That was it.
Okay, so we'll be back soon with more of these.
Yay!
Yay!
And we're also going to do some design stuff. There's actually going to be episodes where we design Race's Fortress and the Bat Cave and Wayne Manor and all that shit. That's all going to be like an episode, so stay tuned for that too. Who wants? Well, we don't close the show on the line, do we? Or, no,
Wait, why don't we?
We can.
You used to yell Batman things.
Yeah, we ran out of Batman things to yell, so we just started yelling random shit.
Gojira!